That clip there, of course, showing you Taimex Nutrition Center, and that is the center that is bringing us this show tonight. And of course, this is Talk Time. A very good evening and welcome to Talk Time. It is Monday, the 15th day of April 2019, and tonight we are going to look at ulcers, and if we get time we shall also be looking at gastric reflux. What are they? What when you hear those words, what do you understand by them? But just briefly, I'll give you an overview of what an ulcer is, and it says it's a disruption of the surface of the skin or a mucous membrane which results in an open sore that may heal very slowly. Now, ulcers can develop on many areas of the body, but the most common ulcers are found in the gastrointestinal tract, and statistics also show that about one Ugandan out of every 10 will suffer from a stomach ulcer, which actually results in abdominal pain and sometimes bleeding, and stomach ulcers are also known as gastric ulcers. Now, to discuss that and a lot more, I'm joined in the studio by none other than Dr. Tamale Ismail, who is the Executive Director of Taimex Nutrition Center, and my name, of course, is Edward Rukidi Kijanam. I've got to introduce my guest first before I introduce myself. Doctor, it's been some 1 month or 3 weeks since you were last here, and good evening and welcome.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yes, tonight's topic very, very crucial, because we've been hearing people, we've been seeing people, you know, say, I've got ulcers, but first of all, probably they don't even know whether it is ulcers. And first of all, tell us, what is the cause? What is the cause of
Actually, even before I start with the cause, viewers who have just seen me, this is Dr. Tamale Ismail from Taimex Nutrition Center. We are found on Nasa Road, on Nasa Road, on a building called Conrad Plaza, on the 2nd floor. And also in Western region, you can find us in Imbarara High Street, on Amazon House on the 1st floor. What we do is just what we call scientific, personalized, individualized nutrition. And here you eat foods which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. And of course, you also do exercises which are compatible to the body system, and you also move your life, what we call lifestyle strategy, according to your body system, to avoid stress, fight stress, control stress, and eliminate stress. Simple.
And it's one of the causes of ulcers.
And of course, as we shall see, those are some of the causes. And of course, as you have seen the video which was there, when you come, we just take your blood group, then we do a lot of measurements on your body system, then the system will tell us your genetic information. And after telling us your genetic information, it will tell you...
When do you take those measurements, by the way? I saw
of course, the measurements of the fingers, and the lower leg, the upper leg, all those are genetic makeups. You see, a human being has 30,000 genes. But then there's what we call phenotype. Phenotype are the observable genetic characteristics. Like we measure the head. Some people's heads are oval, others are those like that, like a bread. Others are like pointed like grasshoppers. So all these they point something to your genetic formation. Some people,
do they tell something about a human being, a person?
Oh, of course. That's why, because every part of your body system, there is a gene responsible. That's why we're talking of a genotype diety. So we try to examine some of the observable genetic characteristics of the body system, and then they were grouped together to form what we call a genotype.
Okay, back to our topic.
So after the system will tell you, you can take number beans, you can't take Kanyaba beans. You can drink pineapple juice, never to eat pineapple. You can take goat's meat, never to eat.
No, you can take.
So
you said something. You can take pineapple juice, but you don't eat it.
Yes, there are some body systems they can take pineapple juice, but never touch a pineapple. So this is very interesting, and these are some of the causes of the problem. And of course, viewers who watched us the other time, we said if you eat foods which are compatible to your blood group and genotype, your body system acquires a very strong immune system. So diseases which have not come to you, there's no way they will ever come. Your work will just be go to hospitals to check to visit patients, but never you fall sick.
Not you to go and visit a
doctor. If you have diseases, then the body system should be able to tackle them, because the whole essence of all that is to make a body system to be self-reliant. The bodies were made to cure themselves, not rely on mercenaries of medicines, mercenaries of herbs, mercenaries of food supplements. No, the body system is supposed to put right their own their own problem. They're supposed to sort out their own problem. Your work is to give them the right foods, which is the right fuel
for the body to keep
for the
moving.
body to do that.
Okay.
So, of course, we are going to look at ulcers. But when you look at, of course, we said a strong immune system, a self-healing body, automatic weight adjustment. The weight adjusts automatically. If you are underweight, you come to normal weight. If you're overweight, you come to normal weight. Then it starts aging. You become younger and younger because the foods which are taking you to your grandparents' graveyard have been plucked out. Now, of course, when we come to ulcers, when you don't take foods which are not compatible to a blood group and genotype, we saw that the first some of the problems you get is dosing after meals, belching, bloating, gas in the stomach, indigestion, constipation, lack of energy, and so on and so on and so on. And of course, we saw that that's a bachelor's party. People can sort themselves out as they want. But because they have not put the foods right, then eventually this moves from a bachelor's party to a wedding. So you find that what was gas in the stomach, next time you go, every time you go to your doctor, he says, come here, you haven't eaten anything. They do a biomeal test. Every time they are testing, negative. The third time, they say, ulcers confirmed.
And that's bad news.
And that's bad news. If you have been, so we say, if you have been getting constipated over a period of time, then to lead things like hemorrhoids, piles, elongation. So, and if you have been having palpitations in the kasiki, then in the wedding, you have things like pressure and diabetes. Now, today's aim, we are looking at ulcers. Ulcers don't just manifest themselves in the body system. The presenter has already explained what ulcers are. And here we are going to look at how they manifest themselves. Now, we are going to, if you look at the video for ulcers, that's we are looking at, if you put on that video for ulcers, which is the next video.
It's not this one.
It's not
the next
that one. It's the next one. Now, you see, ulcers manifest themselves in 3 points in the alimentary canal. One, near where the food is where the esophagus is entering the stomach.
Yes.
Those are called esophageal ulcers. Then, at the end, when the food is going out, those are called duodenal ulcers. As the food, then we have those which in the stomach in the middle. The video was a bit fast. There was some in the middle. Those are what we call gastric ulcers. Those are the ones which are in the stomach. Now, there are so many causes of ulcers. But first of all, I'll tell you that the major cause of ulcers is nothing else but eating incompatible foods to a blood group and genotype. That's why I took you back.
Good you're talking about the
That's
blood
why
group.
I took you to the first step to tell you that if you're not eating the right foods, you start getting things like gas in the stomach, bloating, and so on, which eventually start now manifesting themselves into ulcers. Of course, that is the major cause, is eating foods which are not compatible to a glucose genotype. Actually, what happens for these ulcers, now that's the stomach as you see it.
Yes.
That is when you have eaten food. Now, when you eat food that comes into the stomach, that is H. pylori, we shall also look at it. The stomach produces acid. Now, when you look at the stomach levels, okay, we shall look at the picture. If you look at the stomach levels, blood group O have a lot of acid. B have moderate acid.
In other words, there is a blood type that is more prone.
Of course, blood group O, they are more prone to ulcers. If you are not eating right for blood group O, there's no way you're going to escape ulcers. And why do the blood group O more prone to ulcers? One, when you look at that picture for the stomach, that picture which is coming now to show the stomach, blood group O have a lot of acid. Okay?
Okay.
You look at that picture. Look at that picture. Green represents the acid levels in the stomach. O has a lot of acid, B has moderate acid, AB has little, and A has very little acid. Now, the ulcers, the stomachs, the wounds in the stomachs are caused by different circumstances depending on which body system. Let's start with blood group O. Now, one of the problems with blood group O is God gave them a lot of acid. And this acid does not sit in the stomach that is there waiting for food. It's like saliva. When you eat food, that's when the saliva comes.
Oh, yes.
And when the saliva comes, it will not go back to the salivary glands. Are we together? So that's also what happens. So when you eat food, for example, blood group with a lot of acid, the moment it eats foods, the stomach is going to bring a lot of acid. The acid comes to do digestion. And it is assuming that you have eaten the right food, so it's going to be utilized. Now, if you are blood group O, for example, and you decide to make yourself a vegetarian, taking dodo, bug, and so on and so on and so on, take all these things. The moment you eat them, a lot of acid will come. Now, when it comes, it's going to be underutilized. Right? It cannot, because you know you have not eaten the foods to which it has been circulated to work on. Are we together?
Yes.
Now, when it comes and finds very little food, it expected meat and so many things in the stomach, it doesn't find them there. What happens? You digest the small things you have eaten, and I told you that when the acid is, it's like saliva. When saliva comes, it doesn't go back to salivary glands. So when the acid comes, it doesn't go. It remains there, and it's becoming a nuisance. How? That's start getting a lot of gas, a lot of acidness. So even if you take antacids, you can take the antacids today, and then the acid is reduced. But then you eat again, more acid will come. So for how long and how far are you going to take antacids? Okay, that's when the acid stays in the stomach, it becomes a nuisance. First of all, it starts corroding the mucus.
That's where the pain starts coming now.
It starts corroding the mucus, the stomach mucus, then it starts going to the stomach lining. And then you start getting wounds in the stomach. The acid starts burning the what? The stomach wall, and you start getting wounds in the stomach. And then they say you have ulcers. Now, earlier research into ulcers had indicated that ulcers are mainly caused by a lot of acid. Yes, that was part of the problem. That was 50%. Now, our brothers blood group all have another problem. When you look at the blood group sugar, I told you the other time that every blood group has a blood sugar antigen which identifies it.
Yes.
O has fucose, B, A has fucose, and N acetylglycosamine. B has fucose and it has D-galactose. AB has O. Now, these particular blood sugar antigens in the blood groups, there is a way. Research shows that for blood group O, okay, they have only fucose isolated. Okay. And that's why, and there is a bacteria which they discovered. It is called H. pylori. H. pylori,
we were seeing that a short
if you can see that shot, I think you can bring back that shot and show where the H. pylori was. H. pylori likes fucose when it's isolated. And the majority of people have it is blood group O. So what the bacteria does, it goes in, digs through the mucus, and takes cover under the mucus. Then it starts eating from there. First of all, it has perforated the mucus. Therefore, acid is going to drop in, and it has also gone down. It is busy disturbing the stomach wall. So that's why you say blood group O have a double chance of getting ulcers. Why? Because of the H. pylori, which loves them so much, and the acids which are utilized in the body system. So now, these two circumstances for blood group O have that is H. pylori. It's going to see it digs itself under the mucus, and when it is down there, even if you take 14,
that's what the diagram shows there.
Even if you take 14 H. pylori kits, it will not be lodged out easily. Why? Except when you are conformed to the real food. Well, because when you start eating the natural foods, the body system acquires the immune system, it chases out, regulates the acid levels, and then it works it out. That's why. Now, when you look at that combination, so blood group O become major victims of ulcers when they are eating wrong foods.
Okay, we shall, of course, doctor, we shall be coming
now,
to the type
before
of food
maybe we finish. Of course, there are other factors, but these factors are not really, they are not big. They, of course, some type of medications like antibiotics, some sort of medications, some habits. But those are trivial because the majority of people are not on antibiotics, are not on painkillers because there's also painkillers. But that is the major. That's why you see, even if you stop the others, and you don't work on this major one, the ulcers don't go.
Thank you, Doctor. That, of course, is Dr. Tambale Ismail, and he is giving us some more explanation in as far as stomach ulcers are concerned, and what actually he has brought out is blood group of, people. You are prone, you are most prone to, to ulcers. But Doctor, you've given some common symptoms of ulcers. Are there some rare symptoms that a person can have?
Of course, we talked of ulcers. Of course, they have inflammation in the stomach that is burning the stomach, feeling of fullness, fatty intolerance, heartburn, nausea. Of course, some of this is gas in the stomach. Some of those we say them at the Kasiki areas, time of eating wrong food. Of course, they start when they start manifesting themselves in if they are. If you don't fight to get them out of your body system, of course, this can bring things like vomiting blood, dark blood in stool, trouble breathing, feeling of fainting, can cause fainting.
Is that what we call peptic?
Yeah, peptic means the stomach.
Peptic ulcers.
When they talk of peptic ulcers, they mean stomach ulcers, and they are three. I told you.
Some people misunderstand it for being a very bad stage of ulcer.
No, peptic means the stomach. Peptic, stomach. You see, the medical terms here, some of them are withdrawn from particular languages. Okay, peptic means the stomach. So when you talk of peptic, so they can be, whenever you talk of peptic ulcers, they are talking of duodenal, gastric, and esophageal. That's what they mean. What
should I eat or what shouldn't I eat in order to avoid this?
Now, it all depends on what your body system is. For particular body system, there are things you should not help them from the ulcers. Then, what helps particular body system worsens another body system. That's what I was going to show. Yes. For example, there are people who are not supposed to take. For example, if people have ulcers, and for example, if you give people a blood group O's, most of them, and you give them things like alcohol, things like milk, and so on, the ulcers will become more.
And you're talking about milk, people, and yet there was this general, perception that if you have ulcers, you take milk and you'll be okay. But
yes,
it's the opposite.
Yes. Why are you okay when you take milk? When you take milk, it reduces the acidity level. Mark talked of acidity and the H. pylori. Now, for example, when I'm still tackling a blood group of personal ulcers, because here these ulcers we are going to break them into different body systems. The blood group of ulcer. Now, if he has a lot of acid and takes milk, of course the milk will dilute the acid which is there at the moment, and some of which will even proliferate and go down to H. pylori. Now, bacteria feed on proteins, so first of all you feed the H. pylori, and it says thank you very much for giving us food, so it will give you a relief. Then the acid will reduce. After some time, the H. pylori will bite again, and the acid will come again because you are eating wrong food. So you'll be continuing to take milk. Then after that, you start harvesting the side effects of milk, like fats, high cholesterol, asthma, sinuses, allergy, and so other things. And you cannot. The milk will not solve the ulcer problem. If it had been like that, they would not have been. They would not have invented the ulcer kits, H. pylori. They would have said, "You have milk, you have ulcers, go and take a jerrycan of milk." Never.
I have a brother, and he, at one time, he could not eat matoke. He could not so many foods. He could not eat them. He had only one type of food that he used to eat, and he had ulcers. But this guy goes somewhere and he's given a combination of various, capsules. And after a few months down the road, this man can eat anything. So what happened? You talked about the ulcers. You're given some antibiotics and they go away. Could that have been the case?
Many people have the signs of ulcers when actually they don't have ulcers. They have something different. For example, I need to know what his blood group was, because as we are going to see, the type of ulcers in blood group A and AB, what AB and the A get in terms of ulcers, is much. They have an additional dose. Apart from they may be disturbed by H. pylori, but they can never be disturbed by too much stomach acid because they don't have it. Instead, what they have is a different story altogether. So, as we are going to see it, for example, blood group A and AB, First of all, when you look at their stomach, they have very little acid, generally. Now, because they have very little acid, that means their stomachs are a beehive of bacterial activity. That's why I told you, you look at blood group A, B, and A. Their stomachs are a beehive of bacterial what? Activity. Because they don't have acid. That's why they are major victims of food poisoning. When he goes on a function, he eats anyhow, he's going to have, you will first ask where the toilet is. Even then they get constipated because they have, as we saw the other time in the other program, they have very little acid. That's why they have very sensitive digestive system. A blood group A, B, and A, you cannot give them leftover foods and boiled. B and A, and all they will eat it. A and A, they cannot eat leftover food and boiled. In fact, they are very choosy, they are very picky. You will find them on functions. 2 forks they have done.
Eat this,
no, then he looks at the food and then just puts out very little and finishes. If he tries to eat as O and B, he cannot sleep at night. Stomach problem. Now, the major cause of their ulcers, one, because they have very little acids in their stomachs usually become a beehive of bacterial activity. Not only H. pylori, but all other bacteria. That's why they have sensitive digestive systems. Those bacteria start staying in the stomach because they have little acid to kill them. Because one of the major uses of acid is to kill microorganisms, bad microorganisms in the body system, and also to help in digestion. Now, A and AB, they have very little acid. So that means their stomachs become a beehive of bacterial activities. That's why you find they are major victims of, they have to be deworming most of the time. They don't have a lot of acid to kill most of these parasites, the bacteria and other pathogens in the stomach. Now, when there's a lot of too much bacterial activity in their stomachs, of course the bacteria are producing a lot of uric acid, a lot of acids and so on and so on and so on. Those acids start corroding their what? Their stomachal wall. They start corroding the mucus and start causing them the ulcer. That's why when you are treating, for us in Taimex Nutrition Center, they will treat these people differently. If you're blood group O, with ulcers, differently, we shall treat you different from blood group A and AB ulcers. That's why for us, our treatment is done once in a lifetime. You take the supplements, take them for 30 days, that's the end of your ulcers. Because we know why you have them. And so by knowing the body system, I know why this body system has ulcers, and I know what type of ulcers it's having. I know what is causing the problem. So maybe your person could have been a blood group A or AB, and
that's why he took this.
When he took a lot of this antibacterial, took these antibacterial medicines, they killed most of the microorganisms which were in the stomach, and the ulcers went. So that's why you see. But if you give this to blood group O, no way. It is very rare. It's very easy, difficult to get an antibiotic which is going to dig that H. pylori down from the stomach. That's why they are giving biotic kits. Actually,
what I'm picking from here, from this, is that at least before you can even go to, to think that you've got ulcers, you must know your blood type and then go see a doctor. And of course, you can go to Dr. Tambale's, nutrition center on Nasser Road, and you'll get the best treatment in as far as ulcers and other things are concerned. But nutrition, it plays a very, very pivotal role in
it. It is the one which causes the ulcers, it triggers the ulcers, and it's the one which is supposed to chew it out.
People don't know what to eat.
People don't know what to eat.
Okay.
So if you are eating foods non-compatible, you are not going to get away from ulcers.
Some people, doctor, have had ulcers and probably they have just neglected it because it comes, they eat something or drink something and then it goes away. They have not really treated it. What are the risk factors of these stomach ulcers?
Of course, I told you when they become more and more.
Can I die of ulcers?
Yes, definitely. Because time reaches, if they are mishandled, badly treated, they call for surgery. Those are wounds which can become cancerous. You can easily develop cancer of the stomach, and many people develop cancer of the stomach. So if you are playing around with the ulcers, they can easily degenerate into the cells can easily become cancerous, and you start getting cancer of the stomach. So ulcers is not something to play with. When it comes, please make sure that it's eliminated there and then. Secondly, when you look at the entire stomach, it is the engine, it is the machine, it is the factory which produces the food which other parts of the body system are supposed to consume. Now, the moment it is faulty, it is having ulcers and so on, it is going to limit you in the type of things you are eating and so on and so on. Then other parts of the body are going to have problems. Yeah. So ulcers is a very serious issue. You may neglect it here at the beginning, but when they become on, people start vomiting blood, people start having stool with blood, people start losing weight because everything feels in the stomach now, there are wounds. You imagine a situation of wounds in the stomach. Just imagine that.
You pour their hot water.
It's enough. Then they say, I'm not going to take a chili, I'm not going to take this, I'm not going to take this. Then they start becoming more.
But some people have
so
been advised
you are going to stop.
Some people take chili, even when they have ulcers.
Pardon?
Some people take chili.
Yeah, their body systems are supposed to take chilies. Yes.
Actually, it's advised, doctor. Correct me if I'm wrong. That that you can swallow. You can swallow it.
It depends. Their body systems. Yeah, their body systems who can do it. Their body systems who are not supposed to take a chili at all. So that is where we make the difference.
What test should I take to find out if
the what?
A test. If, for example, I realize that maybe I suspect that I have ulcers. What test do I to diagnose?
Of course, in the Western medicine, they do what they call a bile test. You go when you haven't eaten food, and they do some tests to show that you're in the food. But quite a number of occasions, at times, the test may be negative when actually somebody is feeling the ulcers. Okay? And secondly, which the viewers here have to understand, not all stomach pains, not all heat sensations in the body is ulcers. No.
It could be something different.
That's what we are going to, yes. That is, for example, when you eat foods which are not compatible to your blood group and genotype, it has what we call lectins. Lectins are small nutrients, protein nutrients, which exist in the foods we eat. But these lectins, they behave differently with every blood group. Okay? If you look at that diagram of lectins in the stomach, I don't know whether you have the picture. Now, when you eat foods that are not compatible to your body system, for example, if your blood group O ate tomatoes, okay? Because they're not compatible to most blood group O's, apart from O Gathara, but most, it's not that one. There is one which has a picture which shows, you say, the one which has a picture showing the lectins, the effect of lectins. Now, these lectins, when they are incompatible to your stomach, okay, they cause a reaction. The immune system reacts on them. So when they go into the stomach lining, okay, the body system starts a war to fight the wrong lectins, which you have eaten, the foods you are not supposed to eat. And when that war begins, then fire in the stomach. You start getting fire, heat in the stomach, heat in the stomach, heat in the stomach. You find some, they go to check ulcers, you don't have them, but the person is just say, I'm dying, I have a lot of fire in the stomach. When after that means he's eating foods which have lectins, not compatible with the body system. And whenever they go to they do all tests in all the most complicated laboratories in the world, they will see nothing. Doctor, but somebody is telling you, I'm dying of fire. Then at times, when these lectins are absorbed even into the blood system, they start moving in other parts of the body. People come to our Taimex Nutrition Center. When they have fire in the feet, they are keeping they sleep when they have kept the feet in cold water. They say, I'm dying of fire. I'm dying of fire. I have gone to this hospital. I've been in Nairobi hospital.
You mean ulcers can cause that?
Yeah?
Ulcers?
Not ulcers now. Lectins from wrong foods. Okay. Not ulcers now. It's lectins from wrong foods. That's why I'm telling you that at times, not all pains that are in the stomach are ulcers. At times, it could be lectins coming from wrong foods, which are causing fire in the stomach. And you feel maybe you have ulcers, you go to a doctor, they check you up, they tell you, for us, we don't see anything there, the bile tests are negative, but for you are feeling fire.
From clinic to clinic.
Then eventually the fire goes into the feet. Then somebody, they think it is gout, it's not gout. They don't say anything because the man says, I'm dying of fire. They take in the most complicated laboratories in the world. They say, for us, we don't say anything. The man says, I'm dying of fire. I cannot keep these feet. I have to put them in. It is all food. Lectins from wrong food. Food is very, very, very good and
maybe
very
also
dangerous.
They could have, maybe they have gone to the
Some
wrong
people even
doctor.
start feeling the fire in the chest. Because now you see, the lectins start moving into the blood system. And whenever they move into the blood system, the immune system sees them as an enemy and it fights.
Some people have eaten sweet
and
potatoes
by the way,
they have said that they have got ulcers.
That's why you see, at times those lectins from wrong food, I mean, yeah. For example, when you can eat quality food, and it goes on burning your esophagus. The food is cold, then why is it burning you? It is a reaction.
And it's very common. People complain.
The food has lectins not compatible with the body system, and the body system is reacting. The reaction is starting from the esophagus.
Okay.
And by the way, and because of that, quite a number of people, you see them, they get what we call, they wake up in the morning, especially our brothers here who have very strong immune systems, like blood group O's. You know, O's, he can wake up in the morning. When the whole body is paining, he's feeling fire. The body system. Temperature 40. Then he goes to the doctor. Say, doctor, I'm sick. Says, well, I don't know, but maybe it's malaria, I don't know. They examine you for 4 hours, and they're telling you, my friend, for us, we don't see what you are suffering from. Then he starts blaming the doctor. Like, these people, their machines are faulty. The machines are not faulty. They are not seeing anything. Why? Because what you are experiencing now are the lectins from the wrong foods, which the immune system is fighting right now, and that battle is never captured in the machines which are supposed to look for pathogens.
Okay.
No.
Thank you.
So that's why when you leave such a patient and you tell him, go back, you are not sick. If you find a very professional doctor, you tell him, do you know what? What I'm trained to treat, I don't see you go back and relax and do exercise. Because when he goes back,
just lead a stress-free life.
When he goes back home and just because the good thing, the lectins don't multiply, then he starts feeling okay. In the evening, he says, I think I've recovered. But should you make some mistakes and start taking medications in such a circumstance where they have told you they are not seeing anything you're suffering from, and you take anti-malaria, you become more sick because now even the immune system starts fighting the medicine.
Thank you,
So
doctor. And of
the
course, we just talked
issue
about treatment there, but we shall be coming back and looking at the treatment options for stomach ulcers. But that will be after this short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back from that short break, and this is Talk Time here on UBC TV. And tonight we are looking at ulcers and gastric reflux. Gastric reflux, we've not really, I don't think we shall get enough time to look at it because it's also another big thing that we can talk about. But we are looking at ulcers and how we can treat them. What is the cause of ulcers? How can it be treated? Is it the food that we eat that is the cause, or it is something else? And of course, in the studio, I'm with Dr. Tamale Ismail, who's from Taimex Nutrition Center. Of course, that video that was playing there showing their activities, what they do at Taimex Nutrition Center. And of course, they are found on Al-Nasser Road. That's where their clinic is based. And doctor, before we went for our break, we're looking at, what we should do, how I can tell that maybe I've got ulcers and, the test to diagnose stomach ulcers. But now let's look at the treatment options. You had actually started talking about treatment.
Ulcers treated differently in different corners and circles. When you go to what we call the Western medicine, they give you the H. pylori kits, they give you the antacids, trying to reduce the acids and so on. But of course, as you will realize that that system does not remove the cause of the problem. Because if you are taking antacids and you are taking foods that are stimulating more acids into the body system, then you are taking H. pylori seed and you are not really trying to find out why that H. pylori is not getting out.
It may not really take away the problem.
This one, then another one will come in. You may for how long and for how far you're going to be ruling out H. pylori. So then others, of course, they will give you herbs and all those sorts of things. And so, but here, the best treatment for ulcers is diet. We have seen actually at Taimex Nutrition Center, within 2 weeks, there are no more ulcers.
So if I came there and you gave me your treatment,
we give them some food supplements which take about 30 days. And that's the end of the ulcers. As long as you follow your diet. Because we have seen that the major cause of the ulcers is the diet. There's nothing that is causing some of these
of course, ulcers.
Some of the major causes of the problem, as you can see, it is not a result of a particular, let's say that a particular virus, even the H. pylori comes in because of a reason.
Okay.
Because if it had been that H. pylori is then everybody would be having ulcer. Where is it coming from? But the most important thing, when you have a very strong immune system, the body, the stomach, the body. In fact, if you got people like blood group B, things like ulcers,
those are, they are not so prone to ulcers.
So prone to ulcers. Because of the immune system, and first of all, B has D-galactose, and H. pylori is not very comfortable with D-galactose, so that's why for them they get the ulcers, but not so much. And even when they get them, they recover very quickly. So as you have seen, so the major first treatment for ulcers is diet. Eat foods compatible to your blood group and genotype. It will strengthen the immune system. The H. pylori will be ruled out. Your acids you have will be properly utilized.
What are these foods? I mean, the viewer probably would want to know, do I eat a lot of, protein?
It depends now for viewers. For those maybe who have been in Taimex Nutrition Center, I can advise. That's if you're a GT1 hunter, take cabbages, broccoli, sweet potatoes, leaves, gooseberry, honey, turmeric, and olive oil. If you're an explorer, then for use broccoli, dodo, sukuma. Now, if I give to one hunter takes dodo, the ulcers will come more. For an explorer, the ulcers will go. That's why I see for us what we are doing is very different. So for explorer, they need dodo, sukuma wiki, carrots, garlic, apples, turmeric, honey, and green tea. Now, if you give carrots to a hunter, it will aggravate his so
do I have to fry these things or eat them boiled?
You can eat them boiled. Even when you are frying, we tell you what oil to use for frying. Everybody's system has a type of oil to use. That's why you find some people feel very uncomfortable with the particular oils, others, but one of the best oils is, of course, is the olive oil and the ghee. Because ghee is across the board, everybody can use ghee. So if you're a nomad, you have foods which are yogurt helps you so much on ulcers, or apples, garlic, broccoli, spinach, carrot, cabbages, cauliflower, bell peppers. If you're a warrior, of course yogurt helps you for ulcers, apples, dodo, broccoli, cauliflower, spinach, garlic, tofu, turmeric, olive oil. If you're a teacher, GT3, then you use cabbages, carrots, blueberry, gooseberry, honey, yogurt, turmeric, garlic, olive oil. Those are foods which can help them in their ulcer problem. And actually, that's why when you come to Taimex Nutrition Center, you know the foods to eat. The ulcers will go. We give you a package for the food supplement, which may cost you about 700,000 shillings, but you take it once in a lifetime. You take it for 30 days. Follow your diet. That's the end of the ulcers. You don't get the ulcers.
The stress has been said to be one of the causes.
Yeah, those are minor. Because mark you, when we began the program, actually when you come to Taimex Nutrition Center and we know your genotype, we will tell you what foods to eat compatible to your blood group and genotype. Then we will tell you what exercises to do compatible to your blood group and genotype. Then we will give you a lifestyle strategy which is going to eliminate stress. So when you come to Taimex Nutrition Center, stress is not a factor.
Doctor, some people are so busy these days that they miss their meals at lunch. Instead of having it at midday, you have it at 3. Does that also contribute to having ulcers?
It is,
because that is what people believe.
It could, but about 5%. It's not a major thing. We have seen people fasting and fasting and fasting. They will all be running into clinics dying of ulcers.
This is just, someone will urge and say, but doctor, I fast for only 1 week
of course, one of the reasons why some people attribute the eating and the anti-eating to ulcers is when you go back, you see, to understand the whole thing, you should always go back to the principle. The principle is too much acid. If you have too much acid in the stomach and maybe it's not even receiving any food, it will burn more. But when you keep it busy with something to eat, it may not burn much. That is the whole thing. But the whole thing is, why is this acid coming? And why is it underutilized? That's where you come from. That's why they say when you don't eat, but you have seen people fasting. And if you had been like, people have been fasting, there are people fast for...
Actually, we're still fasting.
Yeah, all the clinics could be full of people lining up that everybody is having ulcers. So that is trivial. It's about 5 or 6%. Yeah, it could be a factor, but maybe
smokers prone.
Yeah, smokers, yes. Smokers
drink a lot of
alcohol, yes. Alcohol, yes. Smokers, yes. They are more prone to ulcers, yes. But still, those are about 10% of the major cause of ulcers. Not everybody smokes. Not everybody is taking alcohol. But people are full up. When you count certain number of people have ulcers, there are so many, and they are non-smokers and they are non-alcohol eaters. And some of them don't even skip meals. But
okay, Dr. Time is not our best ally, but we've talked about prevention now, actually, by avoiding smoking, also not taking alcohol. What are some of the other things that I should do, or the person watching this and they think they have ulcers, what they should do to avoid, getting ulcers?
The first thing is the diet. They have to follow the compatible foods to their blood group and genotype, and that can only be done at Taimex Nutrition Center. They have to come. If you don't come, they will not go. They will go for 2 weeks, they'll come back 3rd week. They can go for a month, then they will walk up. It's simple, because you see, for every condition anybody has, as long as you don't tackle the root cause of the condition, then the condition does not go. It doesn't. It doesn't go. It doesn't go. So that is why you have to strictly understand the foods to eat and not to eat.
Actually, it's also said that you should avoid foods that irritate your digestive system.
Yeah, but only that they don't describe what foods are. That's where we come in.
That's how Taimex comes in.
Exactly, and we tell you, look, this is what is going to do this, what is going to do this. The other factors are that maybe if you combine them together, they could form about 15%, but 85% of the problem is food.
Doctor, thank you so much, and it's unfortunate that time is not our best ally, but we could go on and on discussing this until the cows return home. But thank you so much, Doctor, because so many people have actually been having ulcers and they didn't even know that they could actually go to your place, or they didn't know the foods that they can eat, but also related to your blood type. Thank you so much, the viewer, for having been there. We do hope that you have actually learned a lot from this topic today. Ulcers, I will not touch gastric reflux, but we shall look for him some other time. And it is time now for us to make way for the next program, and that is News at 10 with Rhoda Ngonzi. From me, Edward Rukidi Kijanangoma, and the entire crew that brought you this show, we wish you a blessed night. And Doctor, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
See you some other time.
Thank you.
Ciao.